There's a lot of different ethnicities in this part of the world, and like I said, there's been evidence that they are being targeted. So the UN have been here for a while. Um, we've basically been allocated about 20,000 U.S. personnel. So within the next 24 to 48 hours, there'll be roughly 20,000 U.S. military personnel, either in Poland or across the border in Königsberg, and we are going to be basically at the tip of that spear. Um, this is kind of an overview of what's happened in the last, I don't know, we'll call it 72 hours or so. Some of these are, happening now, so it's hard to say how accurate this is. But in the last 72 hours, there's been several UN convoys attacked, including point of interest 1 and point of interest 4. Looks like Monica and Shaggy are the nicknames for these towns, which is right near the airbase, Mali, Airbase Mali, which is the UN airbase. And then as of uh, what 4 or 5 hours ago, or really late last night, the UN airbase at Mali was attacked. The initial reports is it was an attack by the militia, and we've been able to identify the militia as the Beketov People's Militia, so BPM for short. So we believe it's them who have taken the airbase. We do not have communication with the airbase any longer. We had pretty bad air or pretty bad fucking cloud coverage, so drones and satellite was a no-go for the last few hours. So we're being deployed across the border. We're going to take 2 Chinooks to LZ Primary. Um, Unfortunately, the terrain is not conducive for an air assault. It is flat as fuck out here, and this is the only part that we can actually safely fucking put these aircraft down. So we're going to be to the west of the airbase and the objective, and preliminary kind of, us in the room. We've been sitting here for a little bit, so we kind of, talked about it. We're thinking we're going to skirt north and then kind of just travel east. There's a slight little bit of, tree coverage. The LZ is in defilade from the airbase, so we will have defilade, but it is only a few meters, like literally fucking 5 meters probably. So the top of the aircraft, as soon as it lifts off, is going to be visible. So that's a big thing for air to be aware of, which direction you're putting your fucking cockpit relative to the airbase. Um, Attempt to get eyes on at ORP Alpha, and then just conduct basically a fucking traveling overwatch, um, all the way to point of interest 1. We're thinking we're gonna have to go there before we can actually get to the airbase, just due to the fact that there's not a whole lot of good suitable avenues of approach. The rest of it's kind of all open ground. We've already established a kill box to the west of the airbase, so air, make sure Casp knows and fucking Venom knows that this is a fucking free zone. We will be moving well north of that. We will close the kill box once we realize that we're no longer able to maintain that without moving in there. From there, we are just going to conduct a movement to contact through point of interest 1, all the way down into objective Alpha, secure the airbase. Once we've secured the airbase, which again, if it is militia, if it is the BMP, nope, the BPM, that's going to be really hard to remember. We should be able to take it pretty easily. Once we've secured it, we'll provide aid to any UN forces still on the ground, and we'll take up security. We'll send out a couple patrols, and then we're going to go investigate some of these other points of interest in the region. We'll, revisit Shaggy if we need to, but we got Mally and fucking Monica and Cousin, all within our local proximity. So our primary objective is to secure the airbase at Alpha. Secondary objective is to conduct patrols, interact with locals, as well as we are also a QRF element for any UN forces in the region. So we could be tasked with a QRF mission to provide, aid, immediate aid for any UN forces. Air does have some secondary objectives that they don't have to complete all of them tonight, but these are things that need to be completed throughout the next 2 to 3 missions. So Bronson, if you want to take notes of these, first, they need to deliver vehicles and resupply to the airbase, to Objective Alpha, once we have secured it. Those are here at, they are here in Poland, so it'll be a decent flight, and they're situated just to the west of the resupply reinsert point on the airbase here. The second one is we need to get a RSV brought out there so we can start preparing to conduct or construct fucking cops and patrol bases. And then the third mission is to deliver supplies to one of the small villages way to the north out of our AO. And again, that's only going to be possible if you've got, an escort CAS platform that we can kind of afford to, pass off while that happens. So we'll cover those again here in the mission brief for everybody else. 17, do you have a notice to air, or do you want me to give it?
You can.
Okay. Notice to air: man pads and stationary digichairs are suspected throughout the region, as well as shilkas, and there's possible Tunguska as well. They have. We'll do a quick overview. Y'all should have already seen this. Let's actually start with the army. Nope, that was the army first, wasn't it? Yep, there we go. So starting with the army. Serious. I swear to God, Burke. People, man. All right. First thing, Koenigsberg Armed Forces, CAF, K-A-F. These motherfuckers they are wearing, level 3 body armor. They have helmets. They have MBGs. They are in uniform. They are equipped with, modern weapons. They have tactical equipment. They have fucking surefires. They have fucking IR lasers. They have everything. They are a full standing army. They also have access to, over the last few decades, they've been able to purchase equipment from other countries, even though, being originally a part of Russia until just recently, they have purchased things like IFV warriors from the British, so we can expect to see those out, fighting against us. And they've got, a mixture of Russian and kind of old 80s NATO and some 2000 NATO equipment. So PID will be pretty fucking important when it comes to these guys. Their uniform is, like I said, they are clearly uniformed soldiers, but they are definitely considered hostile to U.S. forces. So we will follow rules of engagement, but they are all, for all intents and purposes, fucking weapons free on any identified KAF forces. The next one here, last one here, is the militia, or local militias. There's several. Yeah, go ahead, Meadows.
Are there UN forces in the area as well, or are they marked by blue helmets when we PID?
They are marked by blue helmets. They are in white vehicles that have big UN signs on them.
Okay, that's easy.
They are also Blue 4, so they will show up on our Blue Force tracker, aka CTAB.
Got it. Thank you.
So, if anybody shoots one of them, I would really fucking question their ability to fucking PID or literally fucking breathe at that point. Okay, so there's three main factions that have been identified. But like I said, Beketov People's Militia is the one that we suspect is responsible for the assault on the airbase and more than likely subsequently responsible for the ambushes recently, as well as working pretty heavily with the CAF. So they are somewhat uniformed. As you can see, this gentleman here, he's got, you know, a vest, a helmet. He's got a uniform. But then if you, I know it's kind of harder to see, but some of these other guys, they look a little, you know, super irregular. They have fucking shamag on. They're wearing like, you know, the fucking LBE, like they're, or LBV, like they're not clearly marked. So it will be a little bit harder to PID them. Civilians are in the area. As it is right now, the civilian populace is on our side. If we, well, let's put it this way. If a civilian dies while we are out on a mission, whether it's our fault, the enemy's fault, a random explosion, they are going to see it as we killed them. The fucking, the militias are going to use that against us, and they're going to say, hey, the fucking Rangers are here, and they're killing civilians. And we could have an uprising and even have more militias, more fucking men for their fucking, their ranks. So it is very important that we PID. All right. So that's kind of the initial situation overview of everything in the fucking op board that was put out. Let's talk about basically after we maneuver from waypoint 1